20 years, 6 Constructors Championships, 8 Drivers' Championships. Christian Horner built Red Bull Racing from a midfield team into a Formula One powerhouse. But in July 2025, after 2 decades at the helm, it all came crashing down. And now, Red Bull CEO Oliver Mintzlaff is finally breaking his silence on why they pulled the trigger on one of the most shocking decisions in modern Formula One history. The cracks began to show in early 2025. Red Bull, the team that had dominated the sport with Max Verstappen, suddenly found themselves struggling. The RB21 car was completely uncompetitive on high downforce circuits. Monaco became a disaster. The Red Bull Ring, their home race, exposed every weakness. Verstappen, a 4-time world champion, was finishing off the podium. By the Belgian Grand Prix in July, the Dutchman found himself over 60 points behind Oscar Piastri in the Drivers' Championship. The constructors' standings told an even grimmer story. Red Bull had fallen to 4th place. The second seat at Red Bull had become a revolving door of failure. Liam Lawson lasted just 2 races before being replaced by Yuki Tsunoda. Neither driver could tame the troublesome RB21. Team morale was crumbling. The atmosphere inside the Milton Keynes factory had turned toxic. Then came the British Grand Prix in July, the race that would end everything. Verstappen started from pole position, but could only manage 5th place after a disastrous low-downforce setup gamble failed spectacularly. Tsunoda finished 15th in a race filled with incidents, but what happened after the race would prove far more dramatic. Inside the Red Bull hospitality unit, a post-race confrontation erupted between Christian Horner and Jos Verstappen, Max's father. That confrontation became Horner's final act as team boss. On the Wednesday following the race, Horner announced he would no longer serve as team principal and CEO. After 20 years, it was over in an instant. Laurent Mekies, the Racing Bulls team principal, was promoted to replace him. The Formula One world was stunned. How could Red Bull fire a man who had delivered 6 constructors' titles and 8 drivers' championships? For months, speculation ran wild. Some blamed internal politics. Others pointed to the winter investigation into Horner's alleged inappropriate behavior toward a female employee. The truth, as it turns out, was far simpler and far more ruthless. Oliver Minslaff, the CEO of Red Bull GmbH, rarely gives interviews, but in an exclusive sit-down with the Daily Telegraph, he finally addressed the decision that shocked the motorsport world. "I wouldn't call it a risk because we were 100% behind this decision," Minslaff stated, "because we knew we had to do something." The performance was declining. The team was stuck in 4th place. Car development had stagnated. The internal atmosphere was deteriorating. And perhaps most critically, they risked losing Max Verstappen. But Minslaff wanted the world to understand something crucial. "I'm not a so-called hire and fire manager, someone who just fires people," he explained. He acknowledged Horner's legacy in glowing terms. "Christian has a fantastic track record with the team and achieved a great deal of success. Everyone here at the company, myself included, appreciates him for what he's done." The company-wide appreciation for Horner was genuine. His achievements were undeniable, but in Minslaff's view, past success doesn't guarantee a permanent position. Then came the statement that revealed everything about Red Bull's new philosophy. "You can't keep relying on history," Minslaff declared. "We felt it was time to turn the page and start a new chapter. That wasn't an easy decision, but we didn't make it overnight." This wasn't about punishing Horner for failure. This was about preventing complacency. Red Bull had reached a crossroads, and they chose disruption over stability. But Christian Horner wasn't the only dominant figure leaving Red Bull. Dr. Helmut Marko, the 82-year-old Austrian advisor who had been with the team for 2 decades, was also on his way out. And unlike Horner, Marko wasn't going quietly. The power struggle between Marko and Horner had defined Red Bull's internal politics throughout 2024. The team split into factions, the Thai ownership backing Horner and the Austrian side supporting Marko. When Horner faced investigation during the winter, Marko was threatened with suspension for allegedly leaking information to the press. Verstappen publicly warned he would leave if Marko was fired. At the Abu Dhabi season finale, as Verstappen celebrated his 8th victory of 2025, Marko hinted his own future was in doubt. Days later, the confirmation came. After 20 years, Marko was out, but his parting shots were venomous. He accused Horner of playing dirty games throughout 2024. Max Verstappen, who had been 104 points behind at his lowest point, mounted an almost impossible comeback. By the season finale, he finished just 2 points short of his 5th consecutive world title. The turnaround vindicated Minslaff's ruthless decision, at least in the short term. But the biggest question looming over Red Bull concerns Max Verstappen. The Dutchman's contract runs through 2028, but it contains a performance clause that could allow him to leave early. During the summer of 2025, he came perilously close to triggering it. Rumors swirled about a move to Mercedes. Italian media even reported he had agreed to join the Silver Arrows. Verstappen publicly denied these claims around the Belgian Grand Prix, confirming he would stay for the foreseeable future. But 2026 could change everything. Minslaff projects absolute confidence about keeping his star driver. "I'm not afraid of any performance clause in his contract," he declared. "The most important thing for an athlete is that he sees that everyone in the team is giving their all for him." Verstappen was impressed by the 2025 turnaround. "As long as Max feels that we are working on that and doing everything we can, I think he will remain loyal to us," the CEO said. He pointed to Red Bull's massive investment in developing their own Ford power unit. "Don't forget that we are an energy drink brand, and what a unique step this is," Minslaff emphasized. Then he made his boldest claim. "For me, there is no doubt that Max Verstappen will end his career at Red Bull. But 2026 presents the biggest challenge Red Bull has faced in years. New regulations will completely reshape Formula One. The Red Bull-Ford Power Unit partnership represents their first in-house engine project after abandoning Honda. They've already admitted teething issues are expected. The development risks are enormous, and the leadership exodus couldn't have come at a worse time. Christian Horner is out. Helmut Marko is gone. Adrian Newey, the legendary designer, left for Aston Martin. Jonathan Wheatley departed for another opportunity. The team that won back-to-back Constructors Championships in 2022 and 2023 now operates with an entirely new leadership structure. Can Laurent Mekies replicate the success of his predecessors? Will the Ford Power Unit be competitive? If Red Bull enters a rebuilding phase, will Verstappen wait around? Mercedes and Ferrari are ready to pounce. Red Bull has chosen renewal over nostalgia. "We didn't want to rest on our laurels," Minslaff concluded. "We felt it was time to start a new chapter." The decision to fire Christian Horner after 20 years wasn't about scandal or personal vendetta. It was about organizational evolution. It was about refusing to live in the past. Red Bull looked at their declining performance, their internal conflicts, and their uncertain future. And they made a choice. They fired one of the most successful team principals in Formula One history because they believed past glory couldn't guarantee future success. The late 2025 resurgence under Mekies suggests they made the right call in the short term, but the real test comes in 2026. Either this gamble will be remembered as brilliant leadership, or it will go down as one of the most catastrophic decisions in motorsport history. Was Red Bull right to fire Christian Horner? Or did they just destroy a winning formula? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest Formula One drama as we head into the crucial 2026 season.